Welcome to the channel. In this video, we get to check out one of the most beautiful and impressive shops that I have ever seen. This is another video from that 11-day road trip, and if you follow the channel, you know this name, and it's my buddy Lou's house, who is outside of Philadelphia, and I just have to say that this is impressive. The amount of work that he put into this shop is just phenomenal. So, let's go ahead and dive in. Fair warning, this is not going to be your typical shop tour. There was so much to take in that when I was there, I just recorded, and what I'm doing now is I'm screen recording, so that way I can pause, rewind, highlight things to show you guys all that is this shop, because just look. Amazing, amazing. Amazing power tools, vintage tools. The layout is awesome. I love that he went with the pine walls. I'm just phenomenal. This part right here is his chisel bench, which is my favorite part of the entire shop because I think it is a great idea. So I'll dive into more detail about that later. This over here is a sharpening station he just built. And then this wall is... I was blown away by this wall because a lot of these planes I have never seen in person, let alone held in my hands. I'm not going to dive into a ton of detail on these planes right now because I'm going to do a separate video on all these different makers, but just briefly, these are from Bill Carter. This is Carl Holte, Ron Breeze, 3 right here from Lazarus. Just amazing. This plane is the only plane I've ever held in my hand, and the only reason I got to is because Lou sent it to me to do a video on. So just impressive. He has some wooden planes too. I captured some of these in videos so that we can talk about them because some of them are pretty unique, and some of them we believe are actually modern made, so I'll talk about that as well in the other video. But everywhere you look in the shop, there's tools. Display tools, collector tools, user tools, but this is another favorite part. The workshop is used. It's lived in. Lou's probably not going to like that I'm pausing right here, but this right here means a lot to me. Because a lot of times you see these shop tours and everything is pristine. And everything is perfect. Almost like the person either has OCD or they're neurotic about cleaning, or they don't use their shop enough. He uses his shop. So everything that we look at through this video, you're going to see that he uses his shop. The other thing with it too is this shop is semi-new to him. He's been working on it for about 2 years now. So he's still getting everything together and organizing everything the way that he wants to. I love this red corner. I've noticed that anybody that has woodpeckers, they tend to like put them all together. And I think that that's just really, really cool. So this, I called the red corner of his shop the whole time I was there. And I just thought that it was neat. I also like that woodpeckers gives you holders for them too. Here's the other corner of the shop. Bandsaw, miter saw, table saw, chisel bench. I mean, just, here's that wall, planes, just amazing. Now this router fence, while I was on this trip, I talked to a couple different people that had this fence, and most people aren't impressed with it. They say, I mean, I guess it works, but I guess it's really finicky for the price. So I'm going to look up to see if there's a review of this fence because I've not been hearing good things about it. It's that Incra router plane fence. Some people have it for their table saw too, and I've just been hearing a lot of people aren't fans of it. These circles right here, these are what he uses as router templates, but they are not your traditional router templates. They are for like pies and cakes and stuff like that for the sizes, and they were significantly cheaper than the actual router plane template. So I'm going to try to find them, and I'll put a link to them down below so you guys can save a few bucks if you need them. And here's where I was talking about. He's still working out his organization, where to lay everything. This dust collector, dust processor was very quiet. I had never heard one in person. Well, actually, I've heard one, but it wasn't this brand. And it was loud. This thing was quiet, which was very, very nice. Very nice. And there's got to be something about Laguna. A lot of the people I visited had Laguna bandsaws, which I'll talk about too. Now this outfeed table, he just built this table. It's 2 layers of MDF with these massive, solid legs. So this is going to work as his outfeed table, but also his assembly table, and it is strong. He can put anything on there and not have to worry about it breaking. So I thought that that was a great idea as well. best tool. This thing was awesome. I got to use those for the first time on this trip as well. Now this is one of those planer jointer combinations, and I have a video of me taking it from jointer operation to planer operation because I thought it would take a long time. So I'm going to pause real quick and show you that. I pull out.
Just turn up first. Hands under the red. Lift nice and easy. Push all the way till it stops. Make sure it won't come down. Pull it towards you. Yep, safety check. And then you can disconnect the hose if you want, or else just flip it. Sorry, I blew that. Yeah.
We have to go to this.
Pulls out. You want to get in front of it. And that's it.
That's awesome. I love that these are starting to become more and more popular because it's a huge space saver. I mean, they do the same thing, really. They have the same type of blade, so I love that this is becoming a thing. And I know when I have an above ground shop, I'm definitely going to look into getting a combination system like this. And here's that bandsaw I told you I was going to talk about. This is the 18BX. On this trip, two people had the 18BX and two people had the 14BX. Just out of the people that I saw. So that's telling me that if I get a bandsaw, it probably needs to be a Laguna. Now the 18 is going to be too tall for my basement, so I'd be looking at the 14. Lumber collection. He has awesome pieces in there to go on this lathe. An American Beauty lathe. If you guys don't know about those, you need to look them up because this thing is robust. Well, right there, robust. It is. That was good. It is solid. It is strong. It is sturdy. I mean, this thing is awesome. It has all kinds of, these are all things he's going to turn. Stabilizer arm, a bunch of different attachments for it, and rests, and just, I'm excited to see what he turns on that lathe because you can turn the headstock around and turn giant bowls. You can turn long spindles. I mean, it's just awesome. Just an awesome, awesome lathe. This is another area of the shop where he's working on getting organized. He might not be happy that I showed it. Powermatic drill press. I love all these different, let me go back. I love all these different magnet things that he has. Where all these tools, you'll see him throughout the shop. He's got tools, magneted, whatever, everywhere. Ooh, those are owl bits. I just noticed those. If you don't know about wood owl bits, you need to look into them. They are like some of the best drill bits that I've ever used. You can use them on a power drill or a hand drill, and they are fast. Now we're going to start looking at some of the vintage planes he has. This one I'm not sure is vintage, but most of these down here are vintage, and he doesn't like the standard, like number 4 Bailey style frog. He likes different, unique ones where they're a little bit different. Like there's a Union X in there, a good collection of compass planes. I think those are Union as well. I have to make another trip back there because we didn't get to dive into a lot of these vintage planes. I focused more on the modern ones because I was just so taken aback. But I do want to visit him again and look at some of these vintage planes in more detail. More turning stock. Some of his disposables. Just storage. He's working on this corner as well. And here's the view of... I'm still just amazed by this shop. Oh, you might be wondering, okay, so you saw we went up the stairs, and he's got all of these big machines. Well, this right here is a door. So this door opens up to the outside, and then he has a forklift where he can lift all of these tools and bring them into the shop. He also has his own lumber mill and kiln. So he's able to lift big slabs and lumber up through this door as well instead of trying to carry it up that staircase, which is right out of view right there. So that's a great idea too if you're going with a second story shop. This whole wall is saws and planes. And it's just awesome. So this is an independent saw, which was made by Pete Tarrin back in 1990 something. He's basically the reason we have slotted back saws. He started making them, I believe it was with Patrick Leach. He made them for about 2 years and sold about 2,000 saws. So then Lee Nielsen, which is right here, bought independent saws and sold them now under the Lee Nielsen name. They kept everything the same except for the name and the set. They increased the set on these saws to make them more focused on beginners. This saw right here is a Pete Tarrant saw because he's back. He's back making saws now, and this saw was amazing. I have a separate video about that. This is an Adrian saw. This is a medallion saw in the corner. There's a Winslow just out of view here, but these saws are for makers that are no longer making saws, so it was really impressive that he got his hands on those. This is that Bad Axe saw we did a video on. Bunch of Cosman saws. That's the Lee Nielsen, Thomas Flynn, Blue Spruce, some vintage ones. This right here is a Flow Rip saw. We get into Japanese saws. I mean, it's just everything. Carving tools. So this is Jason Launin. I believe all of these are Launin. That's an Andrew Kimmins draw knife. Launin draw knife. I believe that's a Launin as well. No, this one's not. This one is. There was too much. There was too much to try to capture everything in video. But again, like I said, I want to visit again and look at, take these down and do videos of the vintage planes and just talk about the different makers and the ages and the history of them and just look at this tool wall. I just have to pause here for a second. Isn't that beautiful? What a great... He utilized these windows perfectly. The shelves are very narrow, so you can still see outside. He displayed these all very nicely. And the good news, too, is he said pretty much all of them are sharp and ready to go. So he wants to put his workbench right in front of this window, which you'll see the lumber for in a little bit, and just this is his tool wall. It's just amazing. Amazing. He's got Clifton's, Lee Nielsen, Veritas. This is the lumber for his bench. Look at these. Norris. These are all Norris planes. I believe these are all I don't know if they're all Norris planes. They're all vintage planes that I need to read up on when I visit them again, because this is a modern made. These are Zenwu, I believe. Maybe all of these are Zenwu. Maybe not all of them. This is a maker, I believe, from Brazil. I have him in a separate video as well. Veritas, Lee Nielsen, Lee Nielsen, Lee Nielsen. These router planes are really, really cool. I have those in that separate video as well to talk about. Veritas, Lee Nielsen, Veritas, Clifton. I mean, talk about like the top production made planes all on this wall. Clifton, Lee Nielsen, Clifton. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That's a Clifton, Lee Nielsen. I just love the layout. On to my favorite part of the shop, the chisel bench. Not only because he displayed these chisels beautifully with that walnut and just the whole design of it, and that little corner is just awesome, but also because of this bench that he specifically designed to be able to sit down and do chisel work. Because when you get older, your back starts to hurt, or even when you're younger, your back hurts leaning over a bench all the time. So he designed this so that you could sit down, but you could also sit on either side of the vise or right in front of the vise. And I just thought that this was a ingenious design, and it is definitely something that I'm going to copy when I have more space to have a dedicated chisel bench. The next video I'm doing of Lou's shop is a deep dive into the modern maker planes that he has. So I have videos of every single one, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about the maker. So keep an eye out for that one. And Lou, I just got to say too, I already made this offer, but I'm going to make it again. I am up for adoption. So I know you said no already, but if you change your mind, just let me know. I'll sell my house. I'll go move into that shop and just live there because it is gorgeous. But really though, Lou, very impressive. Great work. Thank you for letting me crash the party. I hope to visit you again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, any comments, anything like that, feel free to let us know down below, and have a good day.